All right, let's do it. Let's fucking do it. What's up, everybody? It's Demo with Demo Vapes. Thanks for joining me tonight. Tonight, we're going to be taking a look at the No Sin Greed by Incognito mods. First of all, I just wanted to apologize to you guys for the lack of review videos ever since the Entheon RDA came out. I got super sick after that, and I don't know whether it was the flu or a cold or what, but I got super sick, and then once I got unsick, I had a bunch of work to catch up on and stuff like that, so I just didn't have the time to shoot a video until now. But I'm back, and I'm feeling a lot better, and I'm ready to give you guys some more awesome content. Starting next week, we are going to start a schedule for my review videos. We are going to be doing a Tuesday review video every single week, a Thursday optional review video. Some weeks I'll do one on Thursday, some I won't. It really just depends on my schedule that week. And then one definitely on Saturday. So definitely count on Tuesday and Saturday for review videos, possibly Thursday. So I was able to shift some stuff around to enable me to get a schedule so that I can start putting these things out more regularly. But anyway, let's get past all that and take a look at this awesome little mod. So yeah, so this is the No Sin Greed by Incognito mods. It is a single 18650 Squonker, 3D printed out of alumide. And I explain a little bit more in the up close what alumide is. The thing that makes this really unique and different than most Squonkers is the lack of any sort of door here for you to push your thumb in and squeeze the bottle. Instead, it has this little button right here, and you use this button to push in and squeeze the bottle, and that squonks your atomizer. Popping this open, you can see we've got the Squonk bottle right here and the battery right here. And this little button just comes in and pushes on that little bottle. Tonight we are running a 0.19 ohm alien frame staple in here on this Entheon RDA, and man, it just hits like crazy. Check this out. I mean, geez, man. Just fantastic. This mod hits nice and hard, right up there with some of the best tube mods I've used. So anyway, enough of that. We're going to go down up close and show you a little bit more about the No Sin Greed by Incognito mods. Alrighty, everybody. Here we have the No Sin Greed by Incognito mods. Taking a look at the packaging. A nice black velvet bag. Opening up that bag, you will find we have the mod inside here. Now, this mod is a 3D printed mod out of alumide. Alumide is nylon filled with aluminum dust, so it kind of gives it this nice shiny appearance, kind of got these little metal flakes in it. Very beautiful material. Now, right away, you'll notice on the outside of the Squonker, there's no cutout for your thumb to press the Squonk bottle, and there's this weird open hole here. All will be revealed very shortly. Up top here, we have a Mod Maker 510 and a little trident engraving up top. On the front here, we have the greed symbol from the 7 deadly sins engraved on the front. Opening this guy up, press fit door, slides in very nicely. You'll see we have the spot for the Squonk bottle here and a battery here. And you'll also see we have this curious little button. Now, I think this Squonker is rather unique because instead of having a little open window to press your Squonk bottle here, you have a button which sits right in here. I'll show you how this works. This button sits right in there. Your Squonk bottle sits here and is pressed against this little piece right here and squonks up in your atomizer. Very clean looking outer design. I think it's truly fantastic. It's one of my favorite Squonkers because it's just so interesting. But before we install the Squonk bottle, pull out some of these additional parts here. All right, inside of this here, I could pull out the contact right here. Set that to the side for the moment. This button pops out nice and easily. And then here we have the little piece that your bottle presses up against. Now this little guy is very interesting. It's a little 3D printed guy. On this little piece, you'll see we again have this trident logo up here and a little hole here. So if you'd rather not use this, you don't have to use this piece. You can just have the bottle in there and presses up against the battery. And if you'd rather not use this, you can put this on your keychain or on a lanyard or something like that if you'd like. Nice little touch that it's removable. Although personally, I think it works really well with it in there, and I would have liked to have seen it just stuck in there because I think it works the best with it in there. We have silver contacts all around. Now, one thing I'd like to point out to you guys real quick, if you'll notice, you see this little black spot right here on this contact? I have had some issues with arcing on this mod, and honestly, you know, it tends to kind of rear its head at lower resistance builds. If I'm vaping like the Pulse 24 with like a 0.12 or something on it, it tends to get really bad, and you can actually see the spark pretty clearly when you have the mod open. But you'll notice I've got a little bit of arc marks there, as well as if I kind of unscrew this right here, you can also see on the 510 right here as well, I've got some arc pitting right there. So that's kind of a con right there. I would have liked to have seen this designed with a little bit more of an arc resistant situation with this contact, but as such, it arcs fairly significantly on me up until about, I don't know, 0.2 or so. Then that's where the arcing drops off. I don't really notice it quite that much at that higher resistance. Alrighty, I'm gonna go ahead and put this back together and install the Squonk bottle. One thing I'd like to point out real quick is that these two buttons are in fact different lengths. I put them right up next to each other. One is longer than the other, and that's because the Squonk bottle needs a little bit longer of a switch, and so that way when they sit in the mod, they sit a little bit more flush. Alright, I'm gonna reinstall everything now. As you can see, we have a nice soft Lucos silk bottle that comes with this. This is a really fantastic bottle. Those of you guys who are really into squonking will know that these bottles are both amazing and really hard to get. The bottle comes separately from the mod, but it comes in this bag right here with this Silk by Lucos little card right here. I'm gonna go ahead and put a freshly charged VTC5A in here. Fits on there nice and snug. Stick the Entheon RDA up top. I'll go ahead and push this button. It pushes against that bottle, and then that squonks up into the atomizer. See, you can see it squonk right there when I push that button. Now this build right here is a 0.19 ohmed frame staple, and man, on this mod it is angry. You can hear that crackle. Jesus. This thing is almost bordering on a little bit too hot for me, but the mod performs very well, hits extremely hard despite that little arcing issue causing that pitting. I've not had any issues with this not hitting hard or anything like that. It hits very hard, no conductivity issues whatsoever. One other thing that I'd like to point out real quick before we go back up top, little gripe. As you can see, this contact doesn't look like it was really made that well. Looks kind of like someone just took a step drill bit or something or a Dremel and just kind of punched a chunk out of this little contact right here. But doesn't really affect usability. Just something that I noticed. It just looks a little bit rough. All right, everybody, and that's really about it for the up close on this mod. Pretty simple design. Fully mechanical Squonk, 18650. We're gonna go back up, have a vape, and I'll tell you a little bit more about the No Sin Greed by Incognito mods. All right, everybody, and that was the No Sin Greed by Incognito mods. So yeah, really not a whole lot not to love about this little Squonk box here. The design is very, very unique. The lack of any sort of door here really, I think, sets it apart from a lot of these other single 18650 Squonk boxes. The Alumide construction makes it look really, really beautiful, nice and smooth finish. And it's very ergonomic. It's got this nice rounded back on here, so it fits really nicely in your hand. Not too small, not too big. This little button system for the Squonk works absolutely fantastically. It's really great. You get a lot of feedback from it too. It's not like you're kind of going blind, you know. You're able to really, when you push it, you're really able to feel that Squonk bottle go in, and then you release it, and you really get that nice feedback. This mod hits super hard. I have not measured any sort of voltage drop on this mod because I don't have the equipment to do that, but it definitely seems to hit harder than something like the Boxer Squonk or, you know, other Squonk mods that I have that are out there. I really like the fact that this comes with a Lucos silk bottle. Lucos silk bottles are really fantastic bottles for these kind of mods, and they just work super, super well. They're a good balance. They're not too soft, so when you press on them, they spring back pretty fast, but they're easy to take out and put back in, you know, without having to worry about juice rocketing all over the place all the time. But they're also not too firm, so the pressure that you have to put on this bottle is pretty low. There's a low effort Squonk situation. Honestly, the only things I don't really like about this mod are the kind of the roughness of the contacts. I think that could have been done a little bit more smooth, but at the end of the day, it doesn't really affect the vaping experience, so I'm not going to get on it too much, but for 210 bucks, I would really like to see something with a little bit higher fit and finish in that contact, but you know, it's not a big deal for me. And honestly, the only other thing that I really, really don't find appealing about this is the arcing issue. The arcing is pretty bad. It's blackened the top of my contact, and it's blackened the area on the 510 that the contact touches. So, you know, I don't know if over time that's going to create a problem, but I do have to clean it from time to time, and I wish that it didn't have such an issue with arcing. So I'm not sure if there's anything that they can do about that, but I've used other Squonk mods that don't seem to have this issue. So I don't know. Definitely something that I think could be addressed. Beyond that, I think it's a really great Squonk mod. I think it's super, super unique, and you know, I think it'll get you some decent attention at your local vape shop. Most people haven't seen a Squonk mod that lacks that door. You know, I think you'll get a lot of people asking you what it is. So that brings us to the big question. Would I buy this again? Absolutely, I would buy this again for sure. I think it's ultimately a really high quality little box, and I think it looks really cool. It comes in a variety of different colors and finishes, so really you can kind of wait and get the one that you want that suits you the best. Now, some information on how to pick this up. This is a Squonk that requires you to join a Facebook group and either participate in a randomizer or be the first one to comment on a post that they put up, you know, offering up one of these mods. So it's not mass produced, and it's not going to be super easy for you to get. But that said, join up on their Facebook group, and they post posts reasonably often, so you'll have a lot of opportunities to get a hold of one of these guys. I personally purchased this mod for $210 shipped, and if you are in the United States, that will be your price. However, if you're overseas, I think it's like $235 or $240 or something. It's just a little bit more for overseas. So, you know, not a huge deal, but yeah, that's the price. And, you know, I think a lot of you guys out there will say, oh gosh, you know, $210 for a 3D printed mod. You know, this is not your run-of-the-mill 3D printing. This is really, really high quality, and I have no regrets on purchasing this mod at all. But ultimately, it's up to you to decide whether that's worth it for the price. Anyway, guys, I'm going to have all of the links down in the description, a link to their Facebook group, and yeah, that's really about all I got for you guys. Please make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. It really, really helps me out. And if you didn't like what you saw, please be sure to comment down below and let me know what I could do better. That's all the time we got today, guys. Hemo Demo out. I like the word squonk. You can say it over and over again, and I think you might lose its meaning. Squonk, 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 squonk. Oh, God.